I'm Bill Welty from Northern Illinois, Ogle County. 7 years ago, we were approached by a developer to sign a lease for a wind farm on a wind turbine on our farm. We did not sign the lease. I started doing my own investigation into commercial wind farms and have spent the last 7 years on doing a lot of research and trying to get informed on that. Why did I do that? Well, I'm retired and I wanted to know what the right answer was. So I did spend a lot of time on getting involved in that. We in Northern Illinois have got a large number of developers trying to organize wind farms within Northern Illinois and Ogle County. So there are multiple developers around the area. From a farmer perspective, I think it's important to understand that there is a lease stream from a commercial wind farm lease. Yes, there is dollars that can be put into your income stream, but there are a lot of negatives on the other side that you ought to be considering, and part of those is the impact on farming. A lot of farms now are large acreage, large equipment farms. You have to take this large equipment around the half acre to an acre that is used by an individual turbine. You do have impacts of spraying, both aerial spraying and manual spraying with the large sprayers and large equipment. A large concern that you need to be aware of is decommissioning. A lot of the approval of commercial wind farms by various counties have got a decommissioning plans that are very weak. It could lead into problems for you as a farmer who may not have a decommissioning plan that will fund the removal of the towers and the placing back of good topsoil onto the location that a turbine came out of. So you need to be particularly concerned about that and encourage your county to put in place a decommissioning plan that is cash escrow based and not based upon a letter of credit or surety bond, which are not guaranteed because they are based upon the creditworthiness of the owner of the wind farm at the time of decommissioning. Be concerned about that. You may wind up with a tower sitting on your farm for a long period of time, well into multiple generations after you sign your lease. Your lease should be reviewed by an attorney. Do not sign that lease without having it reviewed by an independent attorney that will protect your rights and your interest. And lastly, a quick comment regarding the relationship that you will have with your local neighbors and sometimes even your own relatives who disagree with the decision that you may make on putting a commercial wind farm or tower on your land. So be concerned about that there may be a relationship change of local neighbors and so on. Property values, I haven't read a lot of change as relates to the individual farm property values. There may be a slight change on them, but the biggest change that I've noticed is on the residential changes, property value changes, anywhere from 15 to 25% in that range from residents who lives within a wind farm footprint. Item you should be aware of is technology changes. Commercial wind farms are run now, a tower is run now off a mechanical device that creates electricity. What happens as time progresses and technology changes 15, 20 years from now, and that technology has now reverted into a new form of energy creation and no longer takes a spinning turbine to create it. So it may be that you will have a device sitting on your land that is now out of date, nobody wants it, and there's no value for it, and now you have to decommission it. So be concerned about that. Health and safety, I really summarize health and safety into 4 issues. One is the audible noise problem that you hear. And you can read documents after documents and studies after studies about the distance that you need to be set back to reduce that audible noise. Be concerned about that. A second item is the the vibration noise. If you go by a big fan or some device where you feel a thumping on your chest, and that thumping comes off of a commercial wind turbine, and the low frequency vibration goes for a very long distance and is really the foundation of most of the medical problems that are created off of commercial wind farms. Thirdly, shadow flicker. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but shadow flicker around a residence, around your barns, or even flickering inside of your house creates a real problem with people who are got medical problems or maybe elderly, and it does disrupt the balance within your inner ear problems. So shadow flicker is a concern. And lastly, the blade separation, blades coming apart, ice rows. There's a safety problem that these turbines need to be set back away from property lines far enough where these blade separation issues can't cause a problem on somebody else's property and cause you a legal liability issue. I encourage you to do your own research. There's a lot of information out there the last 5 years plus. There's been a lot of studies going on regarding the impact of commercial wind farms. Get involved with it, do your own research, spend some time on it. Be cautious before you enter into one, and if you think it's the right thing for you to do, fine, that's fine. There are places for commercial wind farms in areas that won't impact residents in a high degree, but be concerned about that and do your own investigation.